Hey there, thanks for joining us at the Rabbit Hole of Research, where you'll learn a few facts that you can impress your friends with at a party. Hey, welcome back to the Rabbit Hole of Research. Down here in the basement studio, you have me, Joe.
You got Nick.
We've got Nick.
Georgia.
And we've got Georgia here in the mini. Talking about it.
New name for 3 episodes now.
No, we're keeping it there. We had David Duffer, retired philosophy professor, on talking about the truth and how complicated it is. So it was a really good episode 60, Lassoing the Truth Serum. So that was a very good episode.
That was a fun episode.
Yeah,
I enjoyed that one a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the timing of it releasing made it even better.
Yes, I think it was very relevant to our times.
And it was on April Fool's Day.
And it released on April Fool's Day. But yeah, there was
Did you call it April Foolin'? Like, who are you fooling?
Do we know the history of April Fool's Day?
I don't.
Like why that came about?
It started all as a lie.
I know, that's probably
I'm just curious why they pick April 1st. Now every day is April Fool's Day.
I mean, April Fool's Day doesn't matter anymore. We got every day, other day.
So just a quick look of this. Origins are murky, but may trace to 1582 when France switched from the Julian to the Gregorian calendar. People failing to recognize the new year moved from late March to January 1st were mocked as April Fools. It also seems to stem from spring festivals celebrating unpredictable weather. So those two.
That's very relevant still.
Yep. So there's a few others. Roman goddess connection. April was sacred to Venus. And Veneralia was held on April 1st, possibly tying the day to ancient traditions.
And then in the modern times, we have the whole where you purposely prank someone.
Yeah, we have modern.
Like we use that as an excuse to be like, wow, it's April Fool's Day. Like,
our papers, news, television stations will publish false stories to fool the public. So kind of a lot.
I mean, I always love those. There was only one year it actually got me.
Oh,
I was like, what?
What was that?
Yeah, because it came out.
Do you remember?
That was a while back. I think it was. I don't even remember. I think it was like an announcement of something. And I was like, oh, wow, that's so cool. And then it didn't take till later that I was like, oh.
They got you. Yeah.
I remember one NPR did, and it was they were going to move all of the music in the Library of Congress on the 78s. They were going to cut records for storage because unlike digital media, if the technology changes, then you can't play the digital files. But if you have 78s, then you can just have a stylus. If it's into the world, you find one, you can just still make music off of it. So I read that and I was like, oh, this is like a cool idea, but that's going to take a lot. I mean, a 78 doesn't hold that much information. So
who gets that job?
I love getting fooled by it. It's always good.
And now it's weird because of social media. Like, you might not see a post on the day that it posts. It's 2 or 3 days later.
Yes.
And then you're like, and then you have to go, oh, this was from April Fool's Day.
Yep. It takes a minute before you're like, oh.
So before I get into the episode, a few things to clean up. The other thing that happened on April Fool's was the Artemis 2 launch.
And that was not a prank.
And that was not a prank. No, back to the moon, people. We're headed there. So real exciting to see that.
I think Georgia has a song for this. Georgia, you want to take off?
I do.
All right, maybe.
Yeah.
That'll be a bonus feature.
That is an April Fool's prank. Nobody wants to hear me sing.
But yeah,
you sing your rocket ship song all the time. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, you're right. My zoom.
That's why I said zoom into this.
Oh my God, that's a great point. I'm going to have to remember that for Mother Goose tomorrow.
But as the astronauts, they're all making their way. They went around the moon, took some great pictures, and they're now, I believe, on their way back to Earth as the time of this recording. So, yeah.
So they didn't actually even get out to stretch their legs or no?
No, they did not get out. This was a test run. So they did a lot of testing on like emergency procedures, taking panels off, doing a bunch of checks. So this mission here, then 3 will take the lander up. And then 4 we will
And when
actually
would that
land
be,
on.
do you know?
I think it's next year. I think every
And
year it's
are
a
these
planned mission.
astronauts planned to be going on any other missions? Or how do they decide that? Do you know?
I don't know.
It just feels
Like in 2 years, are they going back
I
up?
think they
it
have.
feels
No,
like,
they have different. There's a.
I'm the first woman, but I didn't even get to get out of the ship.
I think that happened even in the
mean,
Apollo mission.
yeah.
That they went up, and there were people who didn't go to the moon. They did the testing. That okay, you're
Right.
done, and now we have a line, and you just get your.
I mean, it's all like
exciting.
building blocks.
I mean,
it's all
right.
important. But I was just
But I don't know
curious
the
if they
selection process. You're asking the
I'd
wrong
be a little
person.
upset that I got chose for one and not the other.
Right,
I mean,
right.
Why? I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't be upset.
I,
Do what
you know,
gotta
it's
do.
like,
I don't know. I think
did I mess up? Did I get fired? What do I do now?
I think you always want to do the next thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, I mean,
You don't want to do the next thing, Joe?
I do, but I mean, going into space is exciting. So
Unless it's
I
just
don't,
like,
If I'm
well,
up there, I might as well lick a rock.
that's why they
they
keep
didn't
you
even
on it.
they didn't even get out to lick rocks.
I just wanted to go lick a rock, but I couldn't lick a rock because I'm stuck in this stupid ship.
I was going to say you guys were talking about being screwed, but Michael Collins, he actually stayed in the lunar module while Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin landed on the lunar surface.
Oh.
So he didn't even
That's
come.
even more bullshit.
Oh my God. You got to be kidding me.
And then he didn't. I don't think he got to go back up. So that was.
That stinks.
Yeah. So he
I'd been
just
like,
got.
hey guys, can I just go outside for a minute? Like, let me just do a jump.
Yeah, but
See
he
if
was
they
in
can not
he was
fly
in
off.
lunar orbit, so he wasn't even on. He didn't actually
He
come to the
didn't
surface.
actually- he just kept
hung
the
out.
car warm.
That's right. He just kept the
The
lights, the
getaway
gas
car.
running. If you guys see aliens, let's go. I'm ready. So yeah, no, that was. But so that was.
So they wouldn't see aliens on the moon. They would be the aliens.
Well, I mean, I
You know
guess
what I
that's
mean.
right.
Was that a high thought there, Georgia? Jeez.
I know. Yeah.
It was, yes, right up there with zoom, zoom, zoom.
Just quickly looking it up, that Michael Collins did an interview in 2019 and said he was delighted with his seat despite missing the walk. And he was actually offered another chance to walk on the moon as later commander, but declined it, according to NASA posts.
I wonder why he declined.
Yeah. I mean, maybe you do it once and
Yeah.
so. Back to the episode, there was a couple things we said we would touch on. One was the map accuracy. We talked about the sizes of continents on maps and how they're drawn. So the equal Earth projection, or Gale Peters projection, is what there now provides a more accurate representation of land sizes. And it's actually named after James Gall and Arno Peters. They created this map in 1885, but it wasn't published until 1974. And so,
I mean, and is it widely known about? Like,
yeah, I mean, I think they're trying to get it out there.
Is that something I could just Google and I can look at like that?
There's
map
actually some
that's
cool,
more...
this in the show notes, but there's a website called True Size Of, and you can actually compare
I've done that website.
continents on top of other continents and really see.
And then can you
big.
compare it to like the other maps?
Which is called a Mercator map. And so you can use that to, you can adjust, and it'll adjust for latitude and things to actually give you the true kind of ratio between different land masses. So that was really cool. So I'll throw that in there. The other one, I'll throw these article links. This was the idea that girls are bad at math. And so there was a few recent large studies have shown there's no intrinsic gender difference in children's earliest numerical abilities. That paper was published in July 2018 in Nature by
and
Kersey
it really
et
was
al.
more about the perception of being good.
Yeah,
or
being
bad.
told that you're bad, right?
You
So
just
it's
think,
that whole thing,
I'm
right?
a girl,
right.
you know.
And the perception from teachers that, you're going to be bad, you're going to be worse at math, and so you'll be better at this, and so you never get that confidence boost that you need to be successful.
And also like going into like STEM, going into engineering.
Mm-hmm. The other one that I didn't mention in the episode, but is the Dunning-Kruger effect. Are you guys familiar with that?
Is that the one you've talked about before?
I have talked.
You know enough to then not really.
Yep, you have limited
and
knowledge.
You know who talks about this one a lot.
But yeah, you have limited knowledge, and your competence in the domain is greatly overestimated versus their expertise. And this was identified in 1999. And it suggests that incompetence prevents people from recognizing their own mistakes, often leading to higher confidence than experts.
Oh,
and
God,
it was,
I could see so many.
Yeah, and the famous case
examples
was
of
about this guy. He robbed in Pittsburgh, and he went in the bank, robbed it, and then he went home. And then the cops and everyone showed up at his house and arrested him. He's like, how'd you guys find me so fast? It was like an hour later or something, really quick. And they go, oh, yeah, you didn't have a mask on. So we saw your face, and people knew who you were, and we knew where to find you. And so they're like, no. He goes, no, I did these experiments where if you rub lemon juice over your face, then you become invisible to cameras. And they go, what? And he goes, yeah, I even tested it. I did a bunch of tests with the Polaroid camera. And they went, and during the investigation and search in the home, they found the Polaroids. And they could see, and the problem was that his tests, he would always, after putting lemon juice on, the camera was tilted at an angle, which didn't show his face, and assumed then that the lemon juice truly did make him invisible to cameras.
Don't do that.
Wow.
Yeah, don't
I
do
was not expecting that outcome.
Neil deGrasse Tyson talks about that a lot.
Yeah.
I've heard him talking.
And then to follow up on David's point about the flat earthers, there is a documentary and almost to the same point called Behind the Curve. And in that, like you said, there's conferences, but in this show, this documentary, it follows people who are really setting up these very involved experiments that they feel will prove the earth is flat. And this one that's in there is this Bob Knodel's laser gyroscope experiment. And he kind of tries to test the earth's rotation. And he says, oh, if the earth's not moving, we won't, if it's flat, you'll see this. And if it's round. And he actually then proves that the earth is indeed rotating and hence it's round. And generally then all these experiments, when they get the result that proves the earth is round and kind of prove all, just add to the evidence, they go, oh, our experimental design was flawed. Not that the result they got, the result they got was
my ass.
Correct. So yeah, there's a whole documentary Behind the Curve, and I'll throw that into the show notes.
It is pure comedy gold. Yes. They were not trying to be ironic about it, and that's what made it so great. The look on their faces.
You've seen it?
Yes, I've seen it.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Like, it's one of those like late night watches where you're like, this is just hilarious.
Yeah, no. So that was just a few things.
Highly recommend.
From the episode, I thought I would add to it. Had some listener feedback. So one was Alex, who listening and mentioned a few things, and he mentioned the Mon Mothma, the character in Andor, who gave a speech to the Senate. And so I'll put that clip, but it's of all the things at risk, the loss of an objective reality is perhaps the most dangerous. The death of truth is the ultimate victory of evil. When truth leaves us, when we let it slip away, when it's ripped from our hands, we become vulnerable to the appetite of whatever monster screams the loudest. And then Alex added his own quote, truth is discovered or known, it doesn't necessarily lead to accountability. So that was some of his thoughts.
There you go.
And he also brought up Operation Paperclip, and that was the program where more than 1,600 German scientists, engineers, and technicians were taken from the former Nazi Germany to the U.S. government employment at the end of World War II for things like rocket development and medical technologies that they could bring over.
So was that one ever really a secret? I feel like that one was well known.
I think it was a secret.
I think they really tried to keep those people's identities confidential.
Like, where they actually, I think it was people, they knew people were coming into science programs from Germany, but it wasn't their history and their background. They got new identities. They were protected from the trials that were going on. At this time, remember, they were under trial for the horrendous crimes against humanity that were caused. And being complicit to that. And they should have been
held accountable, but because they had this skill set.
Right. And Russia was, the Soviet Union were recruiting these people.
But it's not like, it was like a rape. America was also doing those horrible experiments at the same time. We make it sound like, we're so much above that.
America's never really stopped doing experiments. It's just how well known they are.
Yep. So,
I was going to say, what other experiments that are known about? What would that would be?
The one I'm thinking of is the one about syphilis.
There are better known podcasts that will cover conspiracy theories better. If you're interested, go seek those ones out. Those are always fun.
Yeah.
Right after you watch Beyond the Curve.
Oh, yes.
Cool. All right. Anything else you guys got before we move to new business?
No, not really. I thought that episode was a lot of fun, though.
Yep, it was. Yeah. And I will say, because of the Artemis launch, we'll be shuffling some episodes around. That's coming up. We will still keep the Splatterpunk episode next with Freak to support Slay the Lake. That's happening in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Is that April 18th?
April 18th.
Yep. So we'll more about that. I
plan on going. Yeah. It's to let you know, like, I don't know if I know we've talked about it before, but it's the like horror writers, LGBTQ, and it just sounds. Yep. I haven't. You've gone to one of the.
I did go to one. Yep. Yes, it was a good time. Yep. Mm-hmm.
And I'm really.
Are you guys going this year?
I'm really excited.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we're going to go.
April 18th. So go.
And we'll put it in the show notes.
Do you think you might go, Nick?
I don't know. Maybe
a little rabbit hole, a research,
like a field
trip. Field trip.
We'll talk about that. We just had one, but I want to get to the cool science stuff.
Okay, I'm sorry, Joe.
I know. Nick, did you have anything?
I did. It was in the vein of space.
Yeah.
It was a whole thing about how the property of viruses change when they get sent to space. And I thought that was super interesting because I feel like Joe and I have been on a rather big space kick lately, especially with Artemis 2 going up. But yeah, they were saying that regular ones does a really good job at infecting right away. But when they get sent to space, something in the property becomes more powerful, more potent. That's what it is. And I thought that was so cool. Yeah. Can you go with that, Joe?
Because of the microgravity, they had conditions there. They tested it. Yep. And some viruses, I think it were bacteriophages. So these are viruses that particularly attack bacteria. That it alters their structures, attachment, and I think infection rates will go up. So it's
probably how it travels through the air.
Virulence. It could just be how they evolve. Once they affect their host, then the changes that happen in this new environment, right? So we think about evolution, and evolution is passing on your genetic material and inducing changes, and then those changes are influenced and selected for by the environment. If you change the environment, something that can reproduce really quickly, I'm guessing, I didn't read this paper, but they could evolve more rapidly and adapt to their new environment faster versus, let's say, humans, which we only have usually one child per birth cycle. So our evolution is really slow compared to insects or viruses, which reproduce in the millions at a time. So every time they churn through, they're evolving a lot quicker, and they can adapt to their environment a lot faster than we could, So I'm thinking that's what's happening.
I thought they were saying something about wanting to see how they react after they come back down, and if they can end up helping make processes stronger.
Yeah, I mean, especially like bacteriophages. So if they can, because we use antibiotics. So these are drugs that can affect the way bacteria will divide or replicate or weaken their cell walls or things like that to make them more susceptible and to die. So we use these kind of things that other like fungal species or other bacteria make to fend off other bacteria. But if bacteriophages, which naturally attack bacteria, trying to use that, if you have now more virulent bacteriophages, so these won't harm humans, they'll just go after bacteria, then you could maybe create a new generation of antibiotic drugs using a biotic one. So that would be my guess. Once again, I need to probably dig in this paper a little bit. It was a
super long article. I don't think they went super deep into all of it, but I just thought it was super interesting to see that, the speed of something can change, or the
potency, the virulence. Yep. So, well, I think that's, like I said, I think it has to do with their evolutionary rate that they can evolve into their new environment. And you see that with like bacteria, like they do gain resistance to antibiotics. Their generational cycle is so much faster that you can then find and select for something that is much stronger resistance than its parents. So, yep. Very cool.
Nice.
Yep.
So what did you bring?
Yeah, I got a couple things, and one is probably that same line, a really cool arachnid mimicry of a aranopathogenic fungus. So Cordyceps, we're all familiar with that. It's the fungus that will control spiders, ants, things like that, and make them do its bidding, like climb up to a high point, and then it will fruit and then spread its spores all around. And so what they found was this spider, and I'll put it as a show notes because I'll probably hack up the species name, Xenowaskia waska. It's a new spider species.
Oh, that's a long word, Joe.
And it actually will mimic being infected. So it appears to be infected with the fungus, but it's really not infected. And so it's kind of this, it uses this decoration to ward off predators, but it can also be used in hunting. So if another animal sees it, the spider that's sitting there with the fungus growing out of it, it might go, oh, it's safe to pass. You get close enough then that the spider can make a meal and ambush the prey. So it's really kind of cool, this kind of mimicry that it's developed over time. Once again, in its environment, kind of interacting with this species that it's now using that.
That one's so wild of a camouflage.
Yeah.
Like,
indeed it is, to pretend that you're...
I'm a disease. It's like if someone's like, oh, I want to camouflage myself with leprosy. It's like,
right.
Don't.
Yeah, I remember.
Don't do that.
I remember this guy that he used to say if he was going to be like in a sketchy neighborhood or like he's on a bus or something and he's nervous about it, he just starts talking to himself really loud and he says crazy stuff. No one messes with you. If you're clearly insane, nobody's going to mess with you. It's kind of the same.
Yeah, I think it is very similar. No, it's really cool.
You could be either be someone talking to themselves or just someone
on your phone.
On
right.
phone.
That's right.
I think you really have to.
Yeah. You got to be animated.
You really got to play it up nowadays.
I think that'd be kind of hard. So.
No, I think you could pass yourself off as being completely insane.
Yeah, that's not me.
I get it.
So I had another one that was interesting, and maybe we all have this feeling. It's that it was called Gain Time is Expanded, examining the psychological and behavioral consequences of gaining time. And essentially, this kind of study, it's how if you gain an hour, like so a canceled work meeting, this unexpected windfall of spare time, it feels expanded. So if you gain like an hour from missed meeting or a canceled meeting, that time feels longer than 60 minutes. It gives you this expectation from this unique sense of opportunity. And so you actually respond differently if you get this found time or this gain time where it's like, oh, we're not doing this meeting today. Okay, that 30 minutes or 60 minutes now feels like 90 minutes. Like it feels much longer psychologically, even though it's obviously the 60 minutes, but you have this kind of sense of finding this time and then doing things with it or whatever.
You already have in mind what you're doing. So your brain is like, I already have this planned out, but now that you have to create a new task for yourself, you end up having so much more of a, oh, what am I going to do with myself?
Right.
Kind of moment.
Exactly. Yep. No, I think you have that euphoria, kind of that burst of energy, like, oh man, now I can do something else. I can get caught up or I can take a nap. I don't know if this actually said you could take a nap, but I'm throwing
I kind of just forget what I'm going to do and then just get into a standstill of, well, what am I going to do?
So I'll put that link in.
And then I feel like you have that and then, oh gosh, I didn't do anything really with that time. And then I get depressed.
Well, I guess that's a different thing.
That went down real quick.
Right. It's like,
I'm so sorry, Georgia. I guess you get to call me. I'm not doing anything ever.
Yeah. Then I had one more. It was interesting to stay on the zombie theme. I was thematically thinking, I don't know, the gain time doesn't really fit, but it was this cool paper about zombie cells that return from the dead. So the paper was Selection-Free Whole Genome Transplantation Revives Dead Microbes. And so they had...
I think I was reading that article.
Oh, did you read that one? Yeah.
could not understand it. And my brain was like, what?
And so this is this whole idea of like synthetic biology. And it's a really fascinating and interesting field that's been picking up steam. And synthetic biology is, can you get life to create resources that we need? It could be medicines, it could be materials, like whatever. So can you take something that's living and then reprogram it to actually create the thing that you want it to make? And so this is interesting because the idea here was that you had dead bacteria, and then they took the genome from another bacterium and put it into the dead one, and machinery that was still happened to be in the dead one started to use the other genome.
This is where I got a little confused. So when it's a dead cell, doesn't stuff start to decompose? Or is it?
You can start
like
having breakdown.
Was
and,
it a freshly
you would have
dead
that.
thing?
I believe, yes. I think I would have to look at the methods. I should have had that. I know you were going to ask me methods questions. Oh, no, you're fine.
Like,
I see.
But
That's
it
where I
seems-
got confused.
It
I don't
does
know
seem
why.
like it
fine.
would have to be
Yeah.
pretty like newly.
Yes, they talk a bit about it. They say a general solution to this problem, killing recipient cells without compromising their capacity to continue to do work, right? So to y'all's point, this whole genome transplant, that if the cell's been dead too long, all the proteins and things will denature, break down, like the cell's not actively doing anything, so it won't maintain its system. So if they were cross-linking and stopping replication of the genome, and that would essentially kill the cell if they block its genome from being used, so it actually can't now make new proteins and stuff. But this process they used, this cross-linking process, would leave all its machinery, transcription, translational machinery. That's the machinery that can read DNA to RNA, then RNA to protein, that can do work in the cell. We'll leave that all intact, and then they could take the donor genome, which they grew, and then just to explain back that the donor genome, they didn't actually take another bacteria and then open them up and pull the genome out. They actually they made what's called a plasmid, a little circular piece of DNA, and then that was of the other genome from the other bacterium, and made copies of that in yeast. And then they could take that. So the yeast would make a bunch of copies of the bacteria plasmid, and then they have like now the donor plasmids, and then they would put that into the deactivated bacterial cells. So essentially they were like on life support, like
Controlled environment.
Right. So these weren't like dried out, crusty bacteria on a plate.
didn't just
like,
scrape them off.
Right. And so,
Wow.
yeah, really. And that's how you would do synthetic biology and do that, or trying to put new organelles into a thing that doesn't have the organelle. Think of photosynthesis in the chloroplast. Can you
Or
move
is
the
that also
chloroplast to
like
other?
growing certain organs out of a different organ? You know, and I mean like a different type of cell. We talked about that a little bit.
Yeah.
Like what makes it synthetic?
I guess you could have biological parts or devices or systems, or taking existing ones and making a useful purpose out of it. So have it reimagine something that then you can use. So you're taking engineering, molecular biology, genetics, computer science, and then trying to create, for all intents and purposes, an optimized organism. Let's say that. So something that suits your desires perfectly. I don't know if someone's... No, it's a fascinating area of research. I think it's one of the new focuses of NSF funding is synthetic biology. I think it's going to be one of those things we'll hear more and more about. It'll creep up and it'll be like, oh, this is some synth bio material. I think you'll see it more. So it was kind of like nano particles and nano kind of things, 10, 15 years ago. Now we've just gotten used to it. Someone says, oh, nanoparticles.
Yeah, that makes sense. I know what that is.
Yeah.
Or have the general idea what it is.
Yeah, no. So this was fascinating. Like I said, it was a fascinating paper to see it come out and to do that. But yeah, I just feel like I'm in journal club, like back in grad school.
I mean, didn't we come up with a name for this segment? Did we have a name?
I don't know if we have a name.
Well, I think we need a name.
Journal club.
And we need it to be like,
I don't want
like-
journal club.
I don't know. It needs to be like music or something that leads into it so everyone knows that's what we're doing now.
All right. Okay. Well, that's a whole different level.
Well, if anyone has any
Yeah,
suggestions,
there we go. Cool.
well,
Science.
what kind of media have you
There
guys
you
been
go.
up to
Yeah.
watch lately?
Well, we saw a movie. Was that last night? No. Was that last night?
That was 2 nights ago.
Oh,
I don't
two
know. What
nights.
movie did you guys see?
Yeah. Well, you were with us.
One spoonful of
A
chocolate.
spoon of
one.
chocolate.
Yes.
Okay,
One
just
spoon
one.
of chocolate by
There ain't
RZA.
no fool in there.
by the RZA, the Abbott.
Which we did run into
We got a fist bump.
We got fist bumps. Yes, we were
all around.
It was a very. Yeah, he came to be with the people, and we were looking at some.
people.
We were looking at some DVDs and that were in the lobby. And next thing, he was standing asking us how we liked the movie, and it was I'm not sure if we answered or just drooled a little bit. I think we did.
We all kind of just went, oh.
Yeah, Nick had to apologize for literally running into him. So that was, and then he was like, "Yeah, it's okay, buddy. What do you think of the movie?"
It was
I'm
really
so sorry.
Yes.
It was good.
It was good. Yes, It was a really good movie. It was presented by Quentin Tarantino. Quentin Tarantino wasn't there, but it was a grindhouse style.
He's one of the producers.
One of the producers. But yeah, it was written and directed by RZA, and you could see it was really good. And yeah, they needed a question and answer.
So many different films.
Right, a lot of elements. If you like grindhouse, kung fu, samurai movies, then you'll see all the little elements and Easter eggs in there. It was good. I like it. And this summer, I think it's the premiering now, and I think May it comes out more wide. But it'll be like kind of a nice summer movie to go see. Yeah, but it was really fun. It was at the Music Box, the Beyond Chicago Film Festival. So that was really cool.
We absolutely loved every bit of that we were there. Music Box, fantastic. If you're in Chicago, please check it out.
Go check it out. Yeah.
And the Beyond Fest was very cool.
Yep, it was. A lot of cool movies, a lot of good indies. It was really neat. But that was fun. Yeah, the crew was on the road, mixing it up, getting fist bumps with RZA. So if you're out there, RZA, come on the pod. Love to have you. Love to talk about you.
Promise to be less awkward.
Joe didn't even pass on.
I know. I wanted to talk about the embryos. He had this whole embryo theory. I need to talk about science there. So come on the show, RZA. We'll chat a little bit. No, really nice guy. I mean, just really, I loved it. He talked about the process and really doing the studying and then doing the work. Like it took him 12, 13 years to get this movie done, kind of just going back, kind of learning the fundamentals, learning the basics. And it showed. Yeah, really good. So
yeah, very much enjoyed it.
A lot of fun there. So
what else have you guys watched? Anything? Read? Listened to?
We're watching the new Duffer Brothers show on Netflix.
Yeah.
Something very bad is going to happen.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, it's really good. It's very trippy.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, it's got right away, like in the first episode, there was a couple jump scares. Well, for me, not for Joe.
No, it was all right.
I gotta be careful because then my cat lays on my lap, and then that can be that's dangerous.
That is a little dangerous. That's on Netflix, so that's
Netflix.
Just to point that out.
What else?
Yeah, I think. We're watching For All of Mankind, Apple Plus. The new series dropped. We're watching Daredevil, the new season, which is really good. So the 3 episodes have dropped, and all just solid. So really, looking forward to that. So
me, well, besides the movie we all saw together, tonight I was told Joe and Georgia that I was watching a movie, but I lied. I was watching some stuff on Apple TV.
Hey,
like a series?
What were you watching?
I watched the first episode of Monarch, which is the Godzilla King Kong series. Wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Better than I expected. I think I went in with low expectations though. So yeah, I'll probably it's a hard show to binge. So we won't watch 2 episodes in a night. But after that we watched Platonic. And that was the Seth Rogen show, which he's with someone else, which now I'm drawing a blank on. But yeah, enjoyed that too. And I'll probably watch Hubris tonight, or
I would say better. Wes is going to be really upset with you.
You should check out For All of Mankind. I think you would like it. Unless you have a lot of space. Yeah. Yeah, a little. If you want
So-
something different for All of Mankind, I think, especially with the space element, I think it's really that one also throw it in there. But yeah,
But what? It's
Cool.
on
Yeah.
like, I want to say it's on the 4th.
it's on the 4th season now. But yeah, I mean, I give you.
I know,
plenty,
I'm
yeah,
just saying
yeah. It is
it's-
one you
it's
can
a
binge
lot.
too. You can
Yeah.
watch them. You know, they're longer, but you can watch a few episodes because it follows historically. You see that's the little changes in history if it went one way or the other, and you can get caught up in that. Then they have a bunch of segments like the real history,
Which
they
is separate
cover, yeah.
from the actual show.
Which is separate from the real show. Yeah, so really, really cool, really well done alt history show. So
Oh yeah,
I was gonna
yeah.
put that
I'll
out
have
there.
to check that out because I was like, oh, I know we've been wanting to check out a few shows, so and you guys keep telling me to watch shows on there, and so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get a month worth. Let's see what it's about.
Yeah, there you go. Good job.
And what I'm almost caught up with Daredevil. I just started Born Again, so I can work my way up to the new season.
So you're on the first season.
You're dedicated, man. That's
Yeah. Well, it's because I don't remember last season,
Right.
and I don't recall. I didn't recall watching season 3, and I know I didn't watch The Defenders, so I'm all caught up now.
Wow.
Cool.
Yeah,
Good.
and haven't started any new games besides the ones I've been playing, and that's been just about it.
Yep. I didn't talk about the books I read. I finished a few books. Change Agent. I think I mentioned that. That's the gene editing book by
That was a recommendation by a guest.
Yep, Bruce. It was
Oh
on the
yeah,
Energy Directed Weapons episode. And then I read All the Sinners Bleed by S.A. Cosby. So a little really good thriller. Really good.
Race relations.
Definitely very good. And then I finally finished Dear Writer by Maggie Smith. So I've been talking about that. So I've been making my way through. Very motivational, a little skewed towards poetry, but I think it fits for all writers and creatives. I think it has a lot of good things about how to get through the noise, how to keep creating, even when you may not want to or doesn't feel like you should. But it was really good. So really motivational. So those 3 kind of finished up in the last weekish or so. I don't think I mentioned books in the last many.
Yeah, and
Trying to keep it
I'm
mini.
reading Retreat by Kristen Ritter.
Kristen
Do you
Ritter.
know who that is?
Well, I know who it is.
the actress.
Yeah.
did she
Jessica
start writing books?
Jones. Yeah.
Yeah,
A while ago. This is her second
This
book.
is her second
Yeah,
novel. I
yeah.
read her first novel too,
Yeah.
which I'm drawing a blank.
Burnout or
No, it definitely starts with a B, which that really narrows it down.
yep.
And the first book she wrote was set in Indiana, and it was really
Bonfire.
good. Yeah, Bonfire. It was really good. And this one is also twisty. Yeah. And I probably have about 25% more to go on that. But I was real excited to see she had a new book.
Nice. Yeah, I didn't know that she was writing books. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, she's pretty cool. She makes knitting patterns too. Am I obsessed? No.
All right, Georgia.
That is my favorite Marvel show. I just have to throw that out there.
Yeah, it's a good one. Cool.
All right. Well, this was another episode of the mini.
This is another episode of the mini, and you have me, Joe.
Yeah, I got
You've
Nick.
got Nick.
Does that mean we go down mini holes?
Can you just say who you are? Didn't ask questions.
Georgia.
That was Georgia.
Georgia. Yeah, it's like
And we went down some mini holes.
we went down many holes. Stay curious, stay safe.
Bye bye.
We love y'all.